Welcome back, Pokemon trainers. Professor Chaz here, the lab coat's on back order, and it's time for this week's team building video for the Pokemon Omega Ruby Rotation Battles in the free battle in Battle Spot. Now, as I said last week, which was technically our final week in the theme I was doing of having a Pokemon from my collection that could Mega Evolve, serve as the team captain for the team, this week there's starting off a little bit of a follow-up series where there are 8 Pokemon in my collection, I believe it's 8, that I haven't used yet or that have already met defeat. And I want to give them a shot to actually get through and get some victories. So, this week, the first one I'm going to focus on is where it all began, back in Kanto, Shelbert the Squirtle, our starter from Professor Oak. He did meet defeat in a previous week of the rotation battles, so I'm going to give him one last shot to try to get a win. And what I'm going to do, since there are 8 Pokemon remaining, and pretty much all of them share a weakness to electricity, which I don't want to double up on weaknesses if I can help it, I'm only going to bring 2 Pokemon from these remaining 8 every week. So it's giving us about 4 more weeks left of these rotation battles. So Shelbert is the first choice, a previously defeated Pokemon. The other one that's going to be added to the team that hasn't had a chance yet in the rotations is Canuck the Beaverl, part of my Sinnoh team. So without any more being said, let's get right into the team building video right now, and I'll show you the movesets, the held items, strategies, and all that good stuff of Shelbert, Canuck, and the remainder of the team that I've assembled for this week. So here he is, folks, straight out of Kanto, Shelbert the Squirtle. I guess that's not true. He's not straight from Kanto. He's been through Johto and Hoenn and Sinnoh and all those good places, but he is here right now, forming as team captain basically for the team this week. He has the quirky nature, which is a neutral nature, so nothing boosted or lost. The natural ability is Torrent, so if he gets low HP, his water move is going to be a little bit more powerful, and since he is more defensive and support for the team, he's going to have the Eviolite. It's going to boost his defenses by 50% each, and the moveset begins with Scald. Now, if we're lucky, we can get a 1 in 3 chance and cause a burn on the opponent, lowering the attack stat and getting some residual damage off each turn, if they stay active, of course. Ice Beam is there to deal with some type coverage, to deal with his grass weakness, which I'm sure he's going to be able to take a hit from. No, I'm going to rotate him out, but Ice Beam could be good against flying types and other things weak to ice, of course. Rock Tomb is going to be pretty useful in the sense that we can lower the speed of anything we hit with that. Nothing is immune to Rock Tomb or the speed drop, except, of course, things like White Smoke and Clear Body ability. But we also have Confide on there. If we want to lower the special attack of the opponents, we can Confide and drop their special attack stat by 1 point, or 1 level, I should say. Now, for Shelbert Super Training, you'll see we maxed out his HP, and we try to even up the defenses from there on out. We put a good amount into special defense, a tiny little bit into defense, getting them both up to, as you saw, about the 180 mark before the Eviolite, of course. And as I mentioned, the other Pokemon that hasn't been used yet, or, we're giving another chance to win before we end off the rotations, is here, Canuck the Beaverl. He is a mild Pokemon, which increases special attack while decreasing defense. You'll see that doesn't really work that well for the moveset we're going with, but based on the natural stats of a Beaverl, that's what we're going to have to work with. Anyway, so he has the Unaware ability, which says any stat increases by the opponent are not factored in when dealing damage, or how does it work exactly? It's like if their defenses are increased, Canuck will ignore that and get his regular attack stat off. And I think if the opponent has increased their own attack stat and they hit Canuck, that's not counted either. I think that's the way Unaware works, but to be honest, I'm kind of unaware about that. But he has the White Herb. It's going to cause any stat drops to be immediately erased, and you'll see that kind of works well with one of the attacks we're giving him this week. So for starters, we have Headbutt, which is a nice stab move, and if he outspeeds, which he won't initially, I'm sure, we could cause some flinching with that Headbutt. Now, to try to make sure we're going to outspeed, I do have Bulldoze on here. It's a ground-type move that is good against his electric weakness, and always lowers the stat of whatever it hits. Sorry, the speed stat of whatever it hits. And we went with Superpower for this week. Normally we try to go with Thunder Wave on Canuck, but someone else has it this week, and I thought I don't have a fighting type move on the team this week, so therefore I'm going to give it to Canuck. It is a natural move that he can learn, and it lowers the attack and defense of the Pokemon after you use it. It's got 120 power, so it hits pretty hard the first time. That's why he has the White Herb. I was considering going with Curse for one of his moves to restore the attack and defense stat. The problem is it also lowers speed, and therefore his Headbutt probably won't cause any flinching, because if he's going to slow himself down, he's not going to outspeed the opponent. So I decided Superpower and White Herb would be a pretty good combo. And for more speed control on the team, we do have, of course, Shelbert has Rock Tomb, Canuck has Bulldoze, and he also has Icy Wind. Now you see the attack stat is 250-ish, special attack about 160. We're not really going to rely on Icy Wind for damage, but we're going to rely on it for the speed drop, as long as we can survive a hit and lower the speed of whatever we connect against. For the Super Training 4-hour Beaverl, I think it maxed out the attack stat. put a good amount into the special attack, and the 2 defenses didn't put anything to the HP or speed. We're hoping the Bulldoze and Icy Wind will let us outspeed on following turns as we get some damage off as well. Now, the first of the returning champions for the Pokemon team this week is going to be Dracotini. Now, Dratini's a Pokemon I haven't used in quite some time. And I understand I'm trying to go into this and get some last-minute wins for some of my defeated or not used Pokemon. I probably shouldn't be using unevolved Pokemon as team support, but I am going to give Dratini a chance. He did pull through in one of the previous matches, so therefore he's got to have something going for him. But on the off chance that I don't think he's going to survive in a battle, I might not just bring him into the battle. We'll have to see how this goes. And he's a serious Pokemon, which is also a neutral nature, just like Shelbert's quirky, so nothing is changed on the stats here. Shed Skin says, I think it's a 1 in 3 chance at the end of each turn to get rid of a status condition. I don't know if Frozen counts or not, but I know Burn, Poison, Sleep, and Paralysis can all be cured off with the Shed Skin, so why couldn't Frozen? I'm sure that can happen too. And since he doesn't have, I was going to say the best defenses, but since he doesn't have defenses to begin with, we have Focus Sash. I want him to survive at least 1 hit and get off at least one of his moves before he goes down. Now, the moveset begins with the powerful Draco Meteor. It does sharply lower the special attack of the Pokemon using it, but you'll see we did kind of max out his special attack in the Super Training, so we want to hit as hard as we can with that first Draco Meteor, if need be, and if I have a fourth Pokemon in reserve, I can pull him back out and reset his stats, but we're going to have to see how that plays out. We also went with Water Pulse for a little bit of type coverage for the team. Of course, we do have Scald on Shelbert, but that could also cause confusion with Water Pulse. I think that's just as much a chance to confuse as Scald has to Burn, 1 in 3. And for a little bit more speed control, we can try to paralyze anything with Thunder Wave. So Dratini is our Thunder Waver for the week. We can paralyze anything except a ground or electric type, of course, cutting their speed stat to down, I believe, 25% of its normal, and therefore the rest of the team should possibly outspeed. And since we didn't, I don't think we packed Safeguard last week, maybe nobody could learn it, but we came into a situation where our Mega Charizard X, no, that was 2 weeks ago, but anyway, we came into a situation where we were hit by a Thunder Wave, and if we had a Safeguard up, that would have been very beneficial, blocking all status conditions for my team for 5 turns. Dratini Super Training, as I said, maxed out the special attack. We also maxed out the speed. Sometimes I try to run him defensively, but that's not going to work. I'm just going to rely on that Focus Sash to survive a hit and get as much speed going as we can for our little Dratini. The 4th Pokemon for the week is actually going to be a support Pokemon, but she will be our Mega Evolution for the team. It is Majestic the Altaria. She's a naughty Pokemon. It's an increase to her attack stat and lowering the special defense, and the ability Natural Cure says that if she has a status condition, if I bring her back into the Pokeball, she will cure of it as I bring her back in. Of course, when she does Mega Evolve, thanks to her held item of Altaria Knight, she does gain that Pixelate ability. We're not really making use of it this week. I don't have a normal type on her, which becomes Fairy type, thanks to the Pixelate when she Mega Evolves, but we went with a Stab Fairy move regardless, as you will see. First off, we do have Dragon Claw, and is a physical move. Now, last time I brought her into the battles as the team captain, she was more on the physically offensive side. This week, I wanted to even out the stats. Look, they're all just a little bit above 200 each there, and I wanted to sort of mix her up, because last time, I did make use of the Pixelate with Giga Impact, which becomes Fairy type when she Mega Evolves. But I didn't like the turn of recharging after that. Plus, I wanted something basically that I could hit, launch 2 attacks in the same amount of time it takes a Giga Impact for the recharge. That meant I had to sort of even out the stats a little bit to make sure both Dragon Claw and Moonblast, both stab moves, are going to hit with pretty much equal power. And we also went with Earthquake for some type coverage, get some ground attacks off. And although we don't have a way to increase her special attack, we do have a way to increase her physical attack and her speed. Thanks to that Dragon Dance, we're going to boost each stat up by 1. For the Super Training, you will see we put a good amount into the HP, attack, and pretty much everything. She's pretty well rounded as it is. And we just went with that, and she's actually pretty much our best well-rounded Pokemon this week. The 5th Pokemon for this week is going to be Stinger the Beedrill. Now, he was used previously as a Mega Beedrill, but he is just a regular Beedrill for this week. I don't want to double up on Mega Stones if I can help it, because if you do that, you bring both into battle, you can only choose one to Mega Evolve. The other one's held item is just useless. So he is a hasty Pokemon, which is actually quite good. It increases his speed, which is already pretty high, lowers his defense, which is already pretty low, so we're not losing too much with that. His ability is Swarm, so if he's at low HP, his Bug-type moves are going to be powered up, and the item is Salac Berry, that if he gets down low HP, about the same amount of HP as the Swarm would kick in, he will eat the Salac Berry, which sharply boosts, I believe, his speed stat. For the moveset, we've got a nice powerful Poison Jab, good chance to poison and stab, and we have Twin Needle as well. I know a lot of people like to run things like X-Scissor or U-Turn, but I like the chance that Twin Needle has for poison. You get to have 2 shots at poisoning thanks to hitting twice with Twin Needle. Now, he normally has Drill Run. I actually replaced it this week for kind of a clever strategy if it works out. You'll see the last move is Endure. It's a move that he can't relearn in this generation. It's from, I believe he got it from a TM back in Gen 4. Might have been Gen 5, but what that says is, if I use Endure, he's not going to get knocked out on a turn that he gets attacked. He's going to survive with 1 HP. What that's going to do is activate the Swarm ability. It's also going to activate the Salac Berry, boosting his speed. At that point, if the opponent might drop to a Twin Needle, which is now boosted with Swarm, I can go with that. But if the opponent is pretty high in the HP, I can go for the Endeavor, bringing that opponent down to 1 HP as well. Stinger will then fall, unfortunately, from whatever attack they use next, but if it is a powerful Pokemon that we otherwise couldn't get through the defenses of, at least Stinger can take it down to 1 HP before he falls. For his Super Training, we max out the attack stat and the speed stat, drop the remainder into the defense for whatever good it's going to do, which probably is nothing, but we put the Super Training where we needed to. The final Pokemon on the team is going to be Shelly the Blissey from my Sinnoh team? Yes. I was trying to think, Hoenn or Sinnoh. She is a docile Pokemon, which is also a neutral nature, so we got 3 of those this week. Her ability Serene Grace increases the chance of a secondary effect of an attack taking place, and we're only got 1 instance of that we're relying on, actually. Not relying on, but counting on that it might actually come into play. Anyway, she has the Leftovers item, so she'll heal back a little HP at the end of each turn, and her defenses are not too bad. The physical defense could certainly be a lot better, but see, the special defense is at 300, that's very nice. Leftovers is going to heal back some of her massive HP every turn. For the moveset, we kept her Grass Knot from the last time we used her. I'm thinking if we find any Primal Kyogre or anything else that is pretty heavy, like the Golem or something else weak to Grass, we can get some good damage off with Grass Knot. We went with Thunderbolt instead of Thunder Wave, because of course our Dracotini has Thunder Wave this week. So we have Thunderbolt, which has an increased chance to paralyze thanks to Serene Grace, and it is our only electric move this week, I believe. And Copycat is a move that she had as a Happiny, so she can't get it back, and it has some pretty interesting effects. You never know what's really going to happen, especially if the opponent outspeeds Shelly, which they probably are going to do. They can use whatever move they want, and we can Copycat and use that move right back at them. And she is our Light Screen setter for the week. Now, we don't have a Reflect user this week, unfortunately, so the defensive side is not going to be as good, but we can get our special defense up nicely with Light Screen. It could work well in tandem with Shelbird's Confide, lowering the opponent's special attack as well. For the Super Training for Shelly, we put almost everything we had into special attack, put a little bit into the HP and the special defense, and dropped a good amount into defense as well to get that up to the nice 100 mark at level 100. So that is going to be our team for week, I believe, 16 of the Omega Ruby Rotation Battles, in which we try to get a victory for Shelbert to rid himself of that red, shameful hue of defeat, and try to get a win for Canuck the Bibarel, who has not had a chance yet in these battles. So feel free to leave me a comment down below, everybody, and let me know what you think of the team I've assembled for the week, and any suggestions for improved movesets and held items and such. I'm looking forward to hearing some feedback for future battles that I want to take these guys into. With all that being said, we're going to sign off now and get ready to record the battles, which will be going up tomorrow on the channel. So I hope to see you all come back here and check out how well Shelbert, Canuck, and the team do, trying to get some victories this week. With all that being said, I want to say thank you for checking out the team builder today, and I'll catch you next time.